Every time I wonder how China grew into the world's second largest economy, I just take a look at two pictures. This is Shanghai in 1990 and this is Shanghai in 2010. Yes, believe me, these skyscrapers helped China grow into a big economy. When foreign investors invest in a country, they don't look up its socio-economic indicators or how happy or unhappy the citizens of a country are. They look at the tall skyscrapers to check if the country is showing potential for growth, because honestly, all they care about is the return on their investments. And when it comes to China, the communist nation built way too many skyscrapers which fueled interest in foreign investors, so many that sometimes China just had to do this. But every hack has its limits. China cannot mindlessly build such skyscrapers any longer. And that will happen with a huge cost that China will pay with a chunk of its economy. And welcome. This is TFI Global, the foreign affairs and geopolitical analysis arm of the TFI Media Group. I'm your host Atul Mishra. In this video, I will tell you how China is set to lose almost 30% of its GDP. Let's begin. China's real estate sector keeps bringing bad news for Xi Jinping, and the worst is here. The ailing sector could wipe out 30% of China's GDP. China's real estate crisis has derailed the Strong 100, a term that is used to describe the top 100 real estate companies in the communist nation. CRIC Research, a private research institute, has reported that the total sales of the Strong 100 stood at $117.5 billion in the month of November, registering a staggering 3.4% decline from a month earlier. Not only this, compared with the same period last year, the sales of these Strong 100 have come down by a whopping 37.6%. This is a huge setback for the Chinese real estate market that contributes heavily to the Chinese GDP. In 2020, real estate investments across China reached a whopping $2.2 trillion, and China's GDP for the same year stood at $15.8 trillion. So real estate investments made up 14% of the Chinese GDP. But wait, that's not it. It is commonly accepted that 30% of China's GDP is dependent on real estate development. 30%. So if spillover effects are also factored in, almost one-third of China's economy is in serious trouble, and things only look bleak from here. You see, it all started with the Evergrande crisis, and the collapse of one real estate giant has set in a chain reaction with a series of big real estate developers defaulting on debt payments. Before Evergrande, four companies, Fantasia Holdings, Scenic Holdings, Modern Land China, and China Properties, defaulted on offshore notes. Evergrande has itself defaulted already over its failure to make two coupon payments by the end of a grace period. Shimao Group Holdings Limited, another real estate giant of China, is on the verge of collapse as well. The Strong 100 companies too seem to be moving in a downward trajectory. And if the crisis continues, you could see many big names in the real estate market tumble in the coming months. So 6 companies in China have been hit by the ongoing real estate collapse. And as a repercussion of this turmoil, the future of real estate development in China is looking bleak. House prices, sales and real estate investment, everything is going down in China. In November, new home prices fell 0.3% month on month. This is the second biggest decline since February 2015. Meanwhile, the actual value of home sales went down by a massive 16.31%. New construction, when measured by floor area, fell 21.03% on year in November. Property investment by developers too fell 4.3%. Amidst the ongoing real estate crisis, prospective Chinese home buyers have turned pessimistic. Several housing projects in the country have stalled, shattering the dreams of many prospective home buyers. The angry and depressed buyers who have lost a significant share of their life savings in failed housing projects now neither have the courage nor the willingness to invest in new projects. Imagine paying for an apartment that was never built and never getting your money back. With dropping demand, the Chinese real estate market can neither launch new projects nor can it bring in more investments. The property developers in China, or any other country for that matter, raise money from prospective homeowners. A part of the sale price is paid upfront even before the housing project is completed, and the possession of a residential apartment is usually given after the payment plan is completed. This is how housing projects work. However, China is now full of prospective home buyers who pumped money into projects that have stalled midway. Some people lost all the money that they had saved for purchasing a home, and now they are simply not ready to put their money into new projects. The shaken investor confidence has brought Chinese real estate development to a grinding halt. This is really bad news for China. Remember what I told you in the beginning. The communist nation pumps up its GDP numbers through construction activity. It builds tall skyscrapers that attract investments from abroad. Now, as real estate in China goes down uncontrollably, we are looking at a possible contraction of 14 to 30% in the Chinese GDP. This is going to push foreign and local investors away from China and practically bring the Chinese growth story to a dead end. After all, the strong 100 are now the crippled 100.